You are listening to Radio Long Island City, recorded at our studios near Hell Gate, 9 kilometers north of the Harbor Hill Moraine. And now, the Observatory. The Observatory, Wednesday the 20th of May, 2026. It is 61 days after the spring equinox. It is 32 days before the summer solstice. In today's episode, more edible plants, Napoleon behaving badly, the Adirondacks, Lucky Lindy, a pro-war demonstration, and the Streisand effect. The sun rises today at 5:34 a.m. Solar noon takes place today at 12:52 p.m. The sun sets today at 8:11 p.m., civil twilight ends at 8:43 p.m., and nautical twilight ends at 9:22 p.m. The length of daytime today is 1 minute 44 seconds longer than yesterday. The moon is in its waxing crescent phase and is 21% full at midday. The moon rises today at 9:05 a.m., and then it sets after midnight. These are the predicted tides today for Horns Hook. In the wee hours, high tide, 1:33 a.m., 1 meter 86. In the morning, low tide, 7:53 a.m., minus 3 centimeters. In the afternoon, high tide, 2:14 p.m., 1 meter 55. In the evening, low tide, 8:02 p.m., 18 centimeters. In our shared realm of plants and animals. Yesterday we spoke of the edible weed, lamb's quarters, which has self-sown across the neighborhood. Another edible weed that's begun sprouting is purslane. Unlike lamb's quarters, purslane isn't ready to harvest, it's just beginning to sprout, and it will be a month or so before it's ready for the table. Purslane is a small annual succulent. Its flavor is tangy and gives zest to many dishes. It's also mucilaginous, so adds thickness to soups. It's a key ingredient in fattoush, the classic Middle Eastern bread salad. Greeks saute it with tomatoes, feta, and olive oil, and in Mexico it adds punch to salsa verde. In vegetable shops it can be quite expensive, but if you are lucky enough to have a garden, watch to see if it seeded itself. It's a treat. Commemorations. For shame. On this day in 1802, Napoleon Bonaparte reinstated slavery in the French colonies. It had been abolished during the French Revolution. He sent troops across the Caribbean to enforce the order. In Haiti, however, which had been in a revolutionary mood for some time, most of his men succumbed to yellow fever, and Haiti declared its independence 2 years later. On this day in 1892, Adirondack Park was created in upstate New York. The law creating the park was signed by the governor with a surprisingly apt name, Roswell Flower. Today, the park, along with Catskill Park to its south, covers some 6 million acres. About half is owned by the state and kept forever wild. Privately owned land and settlements have to abide by strict environmental protocols. The source of our own Hudson River is located within the park. The Hudson begins at Lake Tier of the Clouds, located 1,000 feet below the summit of Mount Marcy, the highest point in New York State. Give thanks for Adirondack Park today. On this day in 1927, Charles Lindbergh took off in his plane the Spirit of St. Louis at 7:52 a.m., bound for Paris. He departed from Roosevelt Field near Garden City, just to our east. He arrived at Le Bourget Field near Paris 33 hours later. It was the very first solo, non-stop flight across the Atlantic. New York City gave him a ticker-tape parade on his return in June of that year. 4 million spectators cheered his feat. History is complicated. On this day in 1970, approximately 100,000 construction and office workers gathered at City Hall to demonstrate their support for Richard Nixon and his handling of the Vietnam War. In contrast to the Hard Hat riot several weeks before that had ended in violence, this event was peaceful, and it demonstrated that the continuation of that war still enjoyed significant support, even as late as 1970. Be careful what you ask for. On this day in 2003, Barbra Streisand sued Kenneth Edelman. Edelman had mounted an environmentalist website documenting coastal erosion along the California coast. It had detailed photographs of wide swaths of the coastline and the houses built along the shore. Streisand sued for invasion of privacy because one photo showed her Malibu mansion and its surrounding property in great detail. Before she filed suit, the photo had only been downloaded 6 times. Due to the publicity around her lawsuit, some 400,000 people visited the website to look for themselves. Now they call this the Streisand effect, when an attempt to quash information makes it actually go viral. Today is World Bee Day. It's a day to celebrate our buzzing friends and remember the crucial role these pollinators play in agriculture and the health of the environment. Happy World Bee Day to all. And finally, as Memorial Day weekend draws near, some of our more attentive listeners may be asking, what's happened to Fleet Week? This year's Fleet Week has been shifted from the end of May to the week around July 4th, in celebration of the nation's 250th birthday. So we will have to wait another month or so to see the tall ships in the harbor and the streets full of sailors. And that is the Observatory, Wednesday the 20th of May, 2026.